All
I'm ready.
right, cool. So welcome everyone to the very first member spotlight video, and I'm here with Jeff Mumm, who is the showrunner for the channel Guinea Something Good, also known as youtube.com/talking guinea pigs, right?
That's right.
Right. Awesome. And his channel is amazing and cute, and his humor style is just like on point. His channel is growing super fast, and we want to congratulate him for doing such a good job. So Jeff, I have a few questions for you. First of all, how do you feel about being in the network? Because you're a new member this last month. This month you joined.
I think it was February, maybe.
February. Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it's been amazing. Already, like just almost immediately, just reading all the best practices information, um, like really changed how I was thinking about how I make content, and that was kind of one of my big struggles. Was I was kind of waffling back and forth between putting a lot of time into one project, one short, um, or putting, making it more efficient and making more content more frequently. And reading the best practices really just reinforce like, oh, it's important to have regular content. And yeah, it's amazing how once I focused on that and started putting out content regularly, the channel starts growing immediately. Like I had probably had almost no subscribers in months, and then suddenly it's like, oh, there's new subscribers every day. So yeah, all just almost immediately I could see, the change in my channel.
Awesome. We are definitely happy to help with that. So was there any other besides frequency of uploads? Did you go through like changing your thumbnails at all and your metadata, like all the really nitty gritty stuff that maybe people don't think about? Was there anything
Yeah,
else that was eye-opening for you?
I did. Yeah. And that took a bit longer than I thought, but yeah, I actually went through and I changed all my thumbnails to have a consistent theme. Yeah, a very high contrast image so that there's a clear character and that um, just a colored background with like a pattern that's consistent between thumbnails and a consistent labeling. So yeah, like I really was trying to build um, consistency across all the different videos. And then yeah, I redid all the tags, added descriptions to every video, and um, and I really spent time trying to figure out a new intro and outro so that there was like a real brand identity, so that when you watched every video, you'd see like, oh, this is this series. And so the channel artwork I changed to match with that intro. And yeah, so I really did spend a lot of time trying to figure that out. And that's something that I had just always put off. It's like I understood why it was important, but it wasn't like something that I actively spent any time on. And so reading about how important it was really gave me a reason to just sit down and spend time on it.
And you absolutely see the results. Like it's really amazing how little tiny changes can really affect things like crazy. Like you're
Yeah,
saying, you were going from seeing no subscribers to like new subscribers every day. And
right.
you're starting the snowball effect. Like you'll see a few subscribers every day, then like 20 subscribers a day, 100 a week, 2,000 a month. Like it becomes a huge snowball effect once you get the ball rolling. And we're really glad that we can help you get the ball rolling there.
Yeah.
I want to jump back to you as an animator, and like, so what made you want to be like, why animation? Why did you decide to animate little cute little guinea pigs?
Um, so yeah, it's actually kind of goes back to my childhood. I I always drew as a kid, and one of my first comic series was about my pet guinea pig, Joe. And so that was like this comic series that I had. Really, I drew it from like the time I was in third grade all the way through high school. And um, it was mainly comics, but I ever since like Mario Paint, I would experiment with animation and like basically like Mario Paint. I had like a Doom 2 editor. I'd do animations in that, and I think I got Flash in high school, and I would kind of experiment with that. And after high school, I went to study graphic design, and I would sort of experimenting with different comics. Like I didn't want to be stuck with the comic that I had started as a little kid, so I tried like a bunch of different series ideas, and didn't was having a hard time trying to find my voice. And so I didn't really like graphic design. So after a couple of years, I went to study comics in this little school in Vermont, and it was there that I was like first confronted with like the situation where everyone there was a cartoonist, and that had up until that point been the thing that like made me different from everybody else. And so it was there that I really had to figure out like, oh well, who am I amongst other creative people? um, and so that's when I really like went back to doing things about guinea pigs, because I had like that strong connection from my childhood. So that's where that started. And I had actually, I was actually doing like a graphic novel style comic. Um, and it was a lot of work. And so, almost like as a joke, I decided to draw my childhood pet guinea pig Joe in a more realistic way, because he's always drawn in like this very stick figure-y kind of way when I was a kid. So I drew him in this kind of realistic way, but with this like copy paste uh, comic that was just ridiculous. And I had such a fun time making those. Like it was such a genuine version of my sense of humor that it just kind of became the thing that I was doing. Um, and eventually I went to study animation in San Francisco, and it was there that I really started like developing it as an animated series. So yeah, it's like every year I've just sort of grown more and more in love with animation, and like now it's something that it's so important to me. Like both making like a cool animated series and just learning about animation principles and making things look really cool.
That's awesome. Can we see your comic online anywhere?
Yeah, my comic is on joegp.com. So that's, you can see like, I think there's over 500 comics. And you can also see the graphic novel. It's not finished, but it's like, there's like 6.5 chapters.
So you're
So
currently working on that?
it's sort of, I'm trying to find time to update it sporadically. But yeah, people really did like it, and they want to see how it finishes. So I'm hoping to like maybe get to a point where I can do like a page a month, which isn't too frequent, but it's at least something to keep it going until it concludes.
Goals are always important, and I'm sure it's incredibly hard to find time as an animator, especially as an animator who's trying to upload content frequently, because as we learned, uploading more content more often gets you greater love in the YouTube algorithm, and it just helps your audience like grow faster.
Right.
So that brings us back to YouTube. So you let me start over. Okay. So that brings us back to YouTube. Why YouTube? Why not other sites like Vimeo? Why not your own hosted embedded player on your website? Like, why did you decide to bring Guinea Something Good to YouTube?
YouTube just seemed kind of like the natural choice. There's so like, the thing is like, I used to come from, I used the internet for a long time. And so to me, the internet used to be a place where only people who use, like, there's a certain type of person who use the internet. And then there was this explosion, I guess starting with MySpace, but it was like suddenly regular people were using the internet. And one of the big sites, it's like, now it's like Facebook and YouTube are the two sites that, whether you like computers or not, have any interest in it or not, you use those sites. And so that sort of like massive audience just lends itself to like really growing your channel and your series. And I mean, you can just see all the successful cases of people using YouTube and becoming professional YouTubers. So yeah, it just seemed like the natural platform.
Awesome. We agree. The audience is definitely there on YouTube to scale. So I know you've touched on it a little bit more, but can you explain what programs you use and what, for your animations or for drawing, do you use Flash, Toon Boom? What kind of programs do you use for Guinea Something Good?
Yeah, I mainly use Flash. So that's like the primary program I use. And then um, I'll use After Effects for like post-production, Premiere to like put it all together, um, Photoshop to make backgrounds, and I'll use Audacity to cut the audio from my voice actors. So yeah, it's mainly Flash, but then those other programs kind of bring it to its conclusion.
So let's give a shout out to your voice actors, because I know you have a few friends that you work with.
Yeah. Joe is voiced by Edwin Tiong, and George by Sean Chiplock. And yeah, they're great, amazing voice actors.
Have you been working with them for a while?
Yeah, they've been with, I think, since 2012. They've been doing those voices, and yeah, I mean, I really lucked out finding them, and they just are so perfect for those roles. It's really awesome.
How'd you find them? Were you friends, or did you find them through like a voice acting site? Or
Yeah, it was a forum for, I forget what it was called, but yeah, there was a forum for finding voice actors, and I basically put out an audition, and um, they were just so professional, and they just nailed it. So uh, yeah, I really feel like I lucked out finding them.
do you think they'd be open to working with more creators in our network?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, I mean, they work on all sorts of projects. Yeah, they. I've seen them. They're in video games projects and other animated series. So yeah, I'm sure they would be.
That's awesome. I might ask you for their contact information later.
Yeah.
Uh, cool. So, what's your process with coming up with ideas? Because that's a big like pain point for a lot of animators. Like we ask, like, "Hey, can you come up with an animation once a week or once every other week, at least once a month?" And it's hard to constantly come up with new, creative, funny jokes and ideas. Do you have any pointers, or what's your process? How do you come up with a video from start to finish?
Um, so the way I do it is most of my videos right now are based on comic strips. So I do right now. I'm still updating like twice a week with comics, and so the way I come up with ideas for those is basically I'll go online and I'll try to find like things. The primary thing I try to find is things people are complaining about, because I find that if someone's complaining about something, then there's a lot of like emotional energy there, and I'll inevitably have some kind of reaction to it. And so whether I agree with them or disagree with them, it's like it creates a sort of creative energy that I can just riff on. So that's really become like my go-to technique. Because yeah, after a while, you do sort of, it's like, what do I write about now? Like, you can't just generate it. So yeah, I'll go to like forums or meme sites or anything where people are complaining and sort of addressing their grievances with the world, um, and that really seems to like spur some creative ideas. And then for the longer animations, really what I do is I try to find something like a sci-fi idea, like a kind of cool technology, and usually I'm able to kind of figure out like a funny idea around that. So like what are the implications of this device actually existing in our day and age?
Are you a big fan of sci-fi?
I really love sci-fi concepts, and I'm not maybe as into like, I'm probably not as up on like sci-fi media as, you know, like a big sci-fi fan, but the actual like ideas of futuristic technology and all that stuff just fascinates me.
Now, where did you get the idea for one of your episodes about one of the guinea pigs wrestling a dead squid? How did that idea come about?
um, that was based on a really early comic, and that's a good question because those comics were really like, those first comics I did were really like off the wall. Like I think back then I used to try to come up with the stupidest idea I could come up with. And so that's sort of where that came from. It's like I would intentionally try to make like a stupid comic. And that was funny to me. And I think, yeah, like the idea of, he starts like, just the comic starts with him wrestling a squid seemed ridiculous. So
It was, but it was really, it made me laugh multiple times. I really enjoy it.
oh, thanks.
Yeah. Do you have any future plans for Guinea Something Good, or are you just rolling with the flow?
Yeah, I mean, one of my goals is to make like 5 minute long episodes that is like more like a animated series where there's like an overarching storyline. Um, so that's obviously something that I won't be able to update too regularly because I want to keep on top of weekly updates that are the shorter episodes. Um, but that's something I'm definitely working toward. And I'm also working on like silent animations that are like purely driven by animation. Um, and they're very like simple doodly kind of drawing so that it doesn't take as long. But I really want to make just shorts that are purely driven by animation and sort of let me push that um, pure frame by frame drawing animation style.
That's exciting. Can we expect that, or are you just like something you want to do for the future? Do you have a timeline for it?
Um, I'm hoping to get the first one done in the next month or two.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
yeah, I've made the first scene, so I think the style that I've chosen is simple enough that I should be able to make them at least. I want to try at least once a month, but I actually have to see how long it takes to finish it. But um, yeah, I'm really excited about that because it will allow me to really push the pure animation aspects of it.
Awesome. What Why don't you tell me, Jeff, who are some of your inspirations? Like, is there any other YouTubers that you really like watching? Is there a TV show that you love? Like, what inspires you?
Okay, yeah. Let me think. Um,
If you could also just repeat it, so say like, what really inspires me, blah blah blah, because that'll help for the editing process.
sure.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, let's see. So, would you want me to say other animators or?
Not necessarily. I mean, I would love for you to say if there's other animators in our network that you really love, and then that way I can shout them out too. But if not, like if say like you are a huge fan of Bugs Bunny or you really enjoy Family Guy or Futurama, like that's all fine. Whatever's honest and truthful.
Okay. Um,
Doesn't have to be animation either. It could be like Doctor Who or something.
okay. All right. Okay. I'll try. Okay. I'm just gonna try to say it. Okay.
No problem.
Um, so yeah, some of my biggest inspirations, I think, are probably um, interestingly less animation and more live action stuff. I definitely love like watching animation, like Disney movies, like old school Disney traditional animation, really is inspiring for like the quality of that animation. And I definitely like my favorite animated series are like Dexter's Laboratory
Nice.
and The Tick. Um, so those, oh, and SpongeBob.
Of course.
So yeah, like those are probably my favorite. Like, oh, and The Simpsons, like especially the old school, seasons. Those are really like my favorite animated shows. And then like as far as comedy wise, like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Like I love that show. And
It's an amazing
there's this
show.
really short-lived show called Stella, and that is like it had one season, but it's like the funniest show I've ever seen. So that's definitely like a big inspiration. Um, and on YouTube, like I really love Red Letter Media. They do like movie reviews and stuff. And Jake and Amir, that's like that College Humor show.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, it's interesting though. Like I don't have, I don't know. I'm not. I don't seem to be watching too many things these days. But so a lot of it's old stuff. But um, yeah, I don't. I'm
No,
sorry.
it's okay. Don't worry about it. That was perfect. See, what else? Is there anything I should be asking you that I'm not asking you?
Um,
What cool fact can you tell me about Jeff? Or the show Guinea Something Good?
hmm.
Like
I don't
what
know.
do you do in your spare time if you're not animating or writing comics? And I put spare time very lightly.
Yeah.
Do you do anything else for fun?
Um, yeah, I mean, I guess I like to play video games. So I don't know. That's
What's your
not
favorite
too.
video game? Or what are you
Um,
currently playing?
well, I just got Grand Theft Auto 5 for the
Nice.
computer, and it can barely run, but it's worth it.
Good. All the graphics settings are like below zero,
Yeah,
so you can at least get through all the missions.
it's 800 by 600.
Oh my
Like
goodness.
looks horrible, but I can run it. But I mean, my favorite stuff is like Nintendo stuff. The Wii U and Mario and all that stuff. Um, so yeah, I mean that's something also I'm working on is like developing my own um, independent game. So that's something where I'm really trying to push the traditional animation in a game, and all those Nintendo platformers and stuff are really big inspirations for that.
Totally. So animating, game design, playing games, writing comics, building your website, you are a very busy person.
Yes.
Do you ever leave your room?
I do, yes. Probably I should probably leave it more often, but yes, I do like to go out and you know ha- walk and go to the movies and hang out with people and all that good stuff too. So
Do you currently have pet guinea pigs?
I don't right now. I haven't had them since high school, but I eventually it's probably something that I'll want to go get some pet guinea pigs because it's hard to make a series about them and not have your own little
Not
pets.
have your own personal inspiration fluff ball next
Right.
to you.
Exactly.
Um, do you have any advice for people currently in the network or people just starting out with animation or on YouTube as artists? Like, what if you could go back and tell yourself a couple pieces of information or advice? What would you say?
I'd say
If I could go
probably
back
if
and
I
tell
could
people,
go. Okay. If I could go back, and tell myself some advice, I think it would be to really like figure out a concept, an idea that really matters to you, that really you feel passionately about, and that you think can drive you for years to come. Because when I first started, I just sort of was trying to come up with ideas I thought other people would like. And eventually I realized what's unique to me is what I have to offer. So if I'm trying to make something that other people like, it's not going to be unique. It's not going to be interesting. And so that's one of the biggest things, that once I found an idea that I cared about, then I stopped dropping the series, because I had this habit of I'd start something and then I'd stop it 6 months later. And so once I found something I really cared about, it didn't even occur to me to do something else. Like that was the thing that I wanted to do. And if you have that idea, then it'll push you on, and it'll push you to kind of work through the hard time of trying to build that audience and get people to care about it. If you don't care about it, then no one else is going to care about it.
That's really, really awesome advice. Sweet. Those are honestly all the questions that I had. Was there anything else or anything that you wanted me to mention? Because this member spotlight, we believe, like I said, this is the first time we're doing it. So we're kind of figuring it out as we go. I believe what's going to happen is we're going to upload a video with a bunch of other information, because it's going to be a monthly thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's going to have a little tiny edited section in that video of our interview. And,
Okay.
and I'm going to link over to the full interview. So because you have a lot of really good information, but I don't want the initial video to be like 15, 30 minutes long.
Right.
So that I believe is what we're going to do for the process.
Okay.
So is there anything else you wanted to mention, talk about?
I think that covered everything.
Awesome. What about, so where can we find Guinea Something Good? Now you can plug anything you want.
Okay. So yeah, you can find Guinea Something Good at my YouTube channel. So Talking Guinea Pigs, and my website, my personal website, joegp.com, has my comic and videos and games and all that stuff.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Joe. This has been amazing. Looking forward to seeing all of the guinea pigs, plural, guinea pigs. All of your guinea pigs. Wow, grammar's good. Let's try that again.
Okay.
So thank you so much for coming on with us, Joe, and congratulations for being the member spotlight.
Hey.
What?
You called me Joe, but I'm Jeff.
Oh, sorry. Your character's Joe.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's okay.
My bad. Joe the guinea pig. Jeff. It was funny because I wrote down your website and it's Joe, and I was looking at it.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry. Okay, let's try again. So, all right. Thanks, Jeff, for coming on with us and being the first Channel Frederator member spotlight. Continue all the fantastic work you've been doing with Channel Frederator and being within the network. Like Jeff said, you can check out his stuff on his channel, which will be linked somewhere in the screen, as well as his website, joegp.com. And Joe is the name of his guinea pig, just so you know, or former guinea pig. So be sure to subscribe to the Channel Frederator Network as well as Channel Frederator for more monthly. Be sure to subscribe to Channel Frederator and the Channel Frederator Network YouTube channels for more monthly updates about what's going on in the network. I will see you around. Say goodbye.
Bye.
All right, awesome. I think that about covers it. I kind of want to do another introduction just one more time.
Sure.
So we get a basis covered. Sorry, I'm jumping around, but
no problem.
when it's all edited together, it's gonna be brilliant.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's up, everybody? I'm Jennifer. I'm one of the community managers here at the Channel Frederator Network, and this month's member spotlight is Jeff Mumm from Gimme Something Good. So say hello, Jeff.
Hello.
Awesome. Perfect, and then we can cut into all the questions. think we're good. I'm gonna have my editors work on this. See, the reason why I'm not saying like months is because I'm not sure if this is gonna be for April, because April's kind of over, or May.
Right.
It might be the May creator spotlight. So yeah, we're figuring it out. Anyway, I hope this was awesome. I'm really glad that I got to meet you personally.
Yeah.
If you need anything at all, like I think you were talking to Kate, or who were you talking to? Kate, yeah. So you can continue talking to Kate. That's fine. You can talk to me. My email is just jennifer@frederator.com. I might email you some follow-up questions, but I think we got it all covered. But I will definitely keep you in the loop about all this editing and stuff.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it would be really awesome if you could send me some assets that I could put into the logging or to the edit. So like if you have high res files of like your characters or pictures of you working or anything that we talked about that would be handy to put in a nice jump cut type of edit style, that would be amazing.
Okay.
Yeah, so that should be about it. I'm gonna stop broadcasting now.